Hey guys, Conquistador here. So today we're going to talk about Nvidia blacklisting Hardware Unboxed, the community backlash, and then ultimately justice being served. So this is a follow-up from the last video I made. I was actually making a separate video on another topic when I noticed Hardware Unboxed just released a new video concerning the leaked email that came out a couple days ago. So, with that, let's talk about Nvidia getting their hand caught in the cookie jar. So first, I'd like to thank everyone who's helped support Hardware Unboxed in any way during this time, along with everyone who's viewed my own video on the subject. So let me get you up to speed about what happened and the end result. So a couple of days ago, an email was leaked banning Hardware Unboxed from receiving any more Founders Edition review samples due to them not placing Nvidia in a particular narrative that Nvidia tries very hard to enforce. So I did a video covering the email and everything wrong with it, along with some of the community's response. So if you want to check it out, I will provide a link in the details, and I'll provide a few other links as well to Hardware Unboxed video they just released and anything else related to it. Anyways, they essentially told Hardware Unboxed in this email that if they decided to adjust their editorial reviews to a more NVIDIA-friendly narrative, then they were open to allowing the ban being lifted. And I go into that whole email in the last video, so you should check it out because I cover it very thoroughly. But anyways, as a result, the tech community as a whole turned the tables, and many popular tech tubers responded with very strong words. For instance, we have Jay's 2 cents. They called Nvidia a slimy company full of liars and cheats. Now, Jay had a lot more words than that, but just to give you an idea, it was the whole community that responded very similarly. So then we also have Linus Sebastian. He's one of the titans of the tech tuber community. You might know him from Linus Tech Tips. But Linus, he said that he'd survive without Nvidia and that he would no longer work with them if they continued this behavior. Now, anybody who knows Linus knows that he likes to he will defend Nvidia. He really is on Nvidia's side and tries to see the good side of them. So for Linus to say this, he was it really did upset Linus too, because Nvidia really did cross the line with what they did. And so as a result of this, actually, it caused a lot of other people writing articles and pointing out the flaws with Nvidia's GPUs, and it really gave their competitor AMD a lot of nice marketing on top of it. And so as a whole, Nvidia crossed a line, and they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and finally got the aforementioned hand slapped harder than they ever expected it to ever get slapped, I think. So now it appears Nvidia is backpedaling and trying to save face. And so Hardware Unboxed just released a video covering their side of the story. So I'm going to summarize it real quick, and then I'll just give my own thoughts. So this is basically how it starts off is that you have Steve, who runs the channel of Hardware Unboxed. He's just going to share his side of the story, and then he shares a few other things along with it. So as it starts off, Steve said that this all started with the 3060 Ti's. They were having a really fast and last minute announcement and then a launch. So Steve, uh, he was puzzled after they never received a Founders Edition card to review for the day one reviews uh, after they launched. In fact, how he found out was that he saw the reviews posted on other tech tubers, on other channels, and so when he saw that, he wondered what happened to his card. Usually, Nvidia would contact him or something. He never got any contact from Nvidia, never got the review sample, nothing. So he was really puzzled by that. So he contacted Nvidia through an email to his usual contact with the company. And so days went by without a reply, and then he sent another email to Nvidia, in which he got a response this time, and they told him that they'd look into it. So 4 more days went by, and then so nothing yet. So Steve sent a third email, and that's when Hardware Unboxed got the famous leaked Nvidia email heard around the world for the first time on the WAN show. And it was Linus and Kyle run that show. If you know Linus Tech Tips, you know who I'm talking about. But Kyle read the email. Um, now we get to the part where Steve shares his own thoughts on the email. He appears to feel the whole debacle was just stupid and shouldn't have happened in the first place, along with some obvious aggravation that he was definitely entitled to. I don't blame him. In fact, he handled himself very well, and he handled this really the right way, and I agree with how he handled it. So he further reinforces the idea that Hardware Unboxed was wronged by Nvidia. By providing some examples, and during those examples, it does put Nvidia in a bad light, and that's on their own fault because of just the timing and everything, how it all happened. So if you see his video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But then he does a quick breakdown of his own review process, and also goes over the reviews that appear to have caused the Hardware Unboxed ban, which led to the leaked email. So at that point, Steve had some fun poking fun at Nvidia's foolish behavior. I did enjoy that. That was fun to see somebody just, giving a few jabs at Nvidia. That usually doesn't happen. So then Steve goes over some ray tracing versus rasterization, how it's relevant in games of today and how it's going to be relevant in the future. He shares some reasons why it might have been a more personal vendetta by Nvidia's PR team, and not really Brian Del Rizzo. The fact that he didn't actually write the email. In fact, he does provide a lot of reasons to believe that, and I don't think Brian Del Rizzo did actually write the email, but simply signed off on it without realizing the problems that it would actually cause Nvidia. He just trusted. I think it was written by his PR team, and Steve also believes that because he's had problems with that PR team for a while. It's likely that Brian never even read it. He trusted his team and he signed the email without realizing how much trouble it would cause. So although I wouldn't put him directly to blame, it does put him in a bad light, and it's definitely a bad look for him. So that's probably going to have some internal effects at Nvidia, I'm sure. Definitely some heads are going to roll because of it. I have no doubt about that. But anyways, so Steve goes over some more points that he feels the Nvidia fanboys in the PR team of Nvidia probably he goes over some points in his videos that those fanboys and the PR team really probably focus on more than the actual video as a whole, and that's what helps drive that personal vendetta that's just kind of built up and built up, and it just led to this email and this ban at this point. And thus an ensuing PR nightmare that is to come for Nvidia, and I have no doubt about that it's going to probably take them quite a while to recover from this particular debacle, I'm sure. So I'm sure we'll probably be hearing more from Nvidia, maybe a public apology, I don't know, but I think it'll be addressed because of just the huge community backlash that it had. Then Steve made an announcement that I really enjoyed hearing, because it really does put Nvidia in its place, and I think it's reassuring to, I think, a lot of us people who support those Tech 2 reviewers. So this is what he said, and I quote, "We do not need Nvidia. But if they want to play dirty and pull the crap they played in this email, they can just bugger off. We do not need them." End quote. So I really appreciated him sharing that. So then Hardware Unboxed really shows how happy they are to have their watchers and the community as a whole, because it helps them stand up and fight back. And Steve expresses his thanks and his and this sentiment really well in the video, and shows that he really can survive without Nvidia, because he has people that in the community that will still continue to watch him and support him, and that's really what's important, and that's why Nvidia got their hand slapped, and why there was a line for them to cross to begin with. So Steve follows up by talking about the ending of the leaked email, and basically the end of this leaked email. It's asking, and it's a pretty shady email, but the end, it basically asks for a biased review in Nvidia's favor. And Steve makes some more points that I feel the whole tech community can agree with. Just about, just having integrity in general. And then Steve starts to finish up his video by sharing Nvidia's email of apology. Now, it's apparent that Nvidia is trying to backpedal in this email, and I'm glad that Hardware Unboxed waited, let the tech community respond how they did, and then waited for Nvidia to respond. So I really like how Hardware Unboxed responded to this whole thing and how they waited, and I really think that everything happened how it should have. But anyways, I'm going to read the email to you now. So it reads as follows. "Hi, Steve. I wanted to reach out again and apologize for my previous email. It was not well worded and maybe impacted by a bit of lockdown fatigue. We absolutely respect the press and their editorial integrity. We welcome you and Hardware Unboxed to NDA press briefings, access to press material, early press drivers, and access to our partner and AIC boards, as well as Founders Edition boards. Let me know if you have any questions. Brian Del Rizzo, Director of Global PR GeForce." So, Steve cautiously accepts the apology and provides some of his past reviews after that, just showing how Hardware Unboxed doesn't show brand preference. He shows the positives of AMD and he shows the negatives of AMD. For example, how they had a lot of drivers issues with their 5000 series cards, and how Nvidia, their rasterization isn't so strong. So just to make a point that they're not biased one way or the other. They're trying to quite literally, make an unbiased and quality review. And I would agree that their reviews are a gold standard. How they do their job is really the gold standard for TechTube reviewers. And so I do applaud his his professionalism and how he handled this whole thing. So then he finishes up with a few more jabs at Nvidia's fanboys that work there. I can't get enough of that. That's always fun when you pick on the fanboys. I don't care what side it is, red team or green team. It's always enjoyable to watch them get picked on. Sorry, guys. It doesn't matter. A good product is a good product. That's how I feel about it. But anyways, so he finishes up with a few jabs at them, and then he basically signs off as a man victorious who really just wants to review technology and enjoy the work he's passionate about. And so that's his whole video. His video is actually a little bit over a half hour long, I think. He really covers a lot of material, covers the whole situation. I recommend watching it if you really want to get more informed on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide links to it in the details below, links to anything else that might be relevant to this, and if you're interested in hearing just an overview of everything, I made my last video, I covered this. I actually was making a separate video, but this just came out, so I went ahead. I decided this was more important to cover, and I decided I'd finish this first, and then I'll go back and work on the other content that I'm working on. But like I said, I think that this was this was a long time coming for Nvidia. I think that this is a step in the right direction. Obviously, there's a lot more that needs to happen to improve these big tech companies. That really just put profits over consumer happiness. But it is a step in the right direction. And it shows Nvidia that there is a line that can be crossed too. I think that we need to continue to be vigilant, though, and when we see injustices like this, we absolutely should respond. And so with that, I think that sums up everything. I just wanted to cover this and provide this information to everybody. I really appreciate everyone who's watching my content and commenting and giving me the likes and subscribing to me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to continue to produce content and try and improve as much as I can. So please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I will continue to provide more content. And guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Continue, just helping to improve the community. And everybody stay safe and stay healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Thanks for watching. And everybody, happy holidays.